And I'm Sarah DeCiccio. I'm a certified holistic health coach, owner of Finding Your Well Spot, and I'm also partner with USANA Health Sciences. So today we've been thinking up new ideas for school lunches. Maybe if you work, you want some healthy snacks. If you're running to and from extracurricular activities, sometimes it's good to have a healthy snack on hand. And not everybody has time to make a healthy snack. So vegetables are huge. If you want to feel full and have fiber and be regular, vegetables is a huge thing to have in your diet. And a lot of us don't get enough of the vegetables, especially children. So for my kids and myself, we do a lot of smoothies to try to incorporate more vegetables.
Oh, even you stay healthy.
And you stay healthy. And today we're going to be making a new spin on some healthy muffins, which I got this recipe from my friend Kayla. And the recipe actually contained gluten, potentially dairy if you're using it to thin out your mix a little bit, and eggs. And my family and I, we cannot have any of those things because we're gluten intolerant, dairy intolerant, and we are intolerant to eggs. So I just modified the recipe a little bit, and you can do this all the time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Gluten-free baking can sometimes be a little finicky. I've had a lot of trials in that department, but this one's worked out beautifully for us. So this one is made from applesauce, some bananas, coconut oil, maple syrup, make sure it's real, vanilla extract, baking powder, baking soda, and then of course we're going to have a whole bunch of spinach added to it. It's going to change your muffin's colors, like it's going to be a green muffin, but
Green?
yeah, but you like the green
Grinch.
muffin. Yeah.
And yummy.
And we tell our kids that it's the Grinch monster muffins, right? That's what we call them. And they love them. So that's what we have in anything that includes a blender or a food processor. It's my kind of baking because then you know it's going to be quick and easy because baking is not my favorite thing to do at all. So you add on all your liquid ingredients, all your wet ingredients, and then you're going to add in all your spinach into there as well. You're going to do that. My camera's not set up great for you today. There we go. Now you can see it. Sorry about the offensive jersey, hey? Ooh. You don't like them? Is that what you said?
I love Oilers.
You don't want
Too
to.
much.
You don't want to say that you love the Oilers because people are watching. They don't want to know that, huh? Say I love the Flames. Woo woo. My poor kids, they're corrupted because of their father. So you put it all in a food processor and we're going to blend that. Now, the thing what I do with gluten-free baking, I make my own powders, or my own flours, I should say. So a lot of flours, you can buy pre-made gluten-free mixes. Don't spell that. And sometimes they work with the baking, like whatever recipe you're using, sometimes not. So I decided to start making my own. I think it's a little bit more cost effective and a lot of my baking has turned out a lot better. So if you are part of my email list, you will get my mixture on how I make a gluten-free flour. I use white rice flour, brown rice flour, tapioca starch, and potato starch. And I do certain ratios of that. And I use that as for most of my bases for any gluten-free baking. But if you don't have that, you could always use any gluten-free baking flour, or you could use brown rice flour, I'm pretty sure, for this recipe. Then I also added in guar gum. So guar gum or xanthan gum are two things that if you start getting into gluten-free baking, you'll start using more of. They sound really exotic at first, but they're not. With gluten-free or with gluten baking, the protein, gluten in regular flours is what gets your baking to stick together, gets it to fluff up and look all nice. With gluten-free baking, we don't really get that same effect because we're missing the gluten protein, of course. So the guar gum and the xanthan gum make up for that in the baking, gluten-free baking is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so should we mix this up? Oh, and we also added in, because I want to add more protein into, especially if you're going to use this as a snack or a baking or a breakfast muffin, you want to make sure, it's okay, we don't need to open it, sweetie. You want to make sure you have protein with most of your snacks or meals because protein is what's going to keep you full and, of course, keep everything balanced and low glycemic. So we just added in probably 1/4 cup of the My Smart Shake Protein Booster from USANA. That is, of course, optional, but I did that. I put a little less gluten-free flour in, and I added in a quarter of a cup of the protein booster. And then since we can't have eggs, we of course made a flax egg. So a flax egg is made with 1 tablespoon of flaxseed, that's all ground up, and then 3 tablespoons of boiling water. And then you just mix that together, you let it sit, and then it gets kind of thick like that, and that is what's gonna replace your egg. So we're gonna put that in here, in our blender. Or food processor is what we're using today. And it keeps things simple, because I don't like bringing out a mixer or blender, or beaters, I should say, always. It can be a bugger. And these cook so fast. All right, let's get it all in there.
And it's not gonna fit.
All right, let's do this. Okay, so I like to blend it up really well because of course we don't want any of that spinach that the kids can tell. So that's why I like to blend it up as much as we can. Once it's all blended, oh, I have 2 little leaves that didn't quite make it in, that's okay. But the rest is all blended. You want to add your wet into your dry, and we're going to mix that. Ready, Bree?
Yep.
And it smells great, doesn't it? We didn't have, let go for a second, let go. I had homemade applesauce that I made that I took out of the freezer, and I knew it was sweetened with some honey, so instead of adding in more sweetener like the maple syrup, I left it out today. But definitely if you have unsweetened, you should use unsweetened unless you make it yourself. And you know you could either add the maple syrup or leave it out. And it all depends who you're making it for too. If it's for kids, sometimes they like things a little sweeter. So Brielle's gonna mix it up. Now, when she's mixing it, sometimes the batter is a little bit thicker. So if it is thick, you wanna maybe try and thin it out. And we're gonna use coconut milk to thin that out today. You getting it all stirred up? And so it should be almost like pancake mix. Can I help you? So we can hurry. And I always just eyeball it for how much added milk we need. So we're gonna keep stirring this, and we're gonna put it in our muffin tins, and I'll show you what it looks like when we come back.
Hi, I'm Brielle. This is my sister Brielle.
Welcome back. So we just finished making our, what are they called again? Grinch.
This is my brother. And this is my mom.
Mom, yes.
This
Okay,
is my
so
mom.
let's tell them because they don't want to hear us speak forever. So we just finished making Grinch monster muffins.
Monster muffin.
And we actually forgot to put in, if you wanted, chocolate chips. Okay. So because my family can't eat regular chocolate chips, if you're the same way and can't have dairy, there's chocolate chips that you can buy that are dairy-free, they're peanut-free, tree nut-free, and soy-free if you need to go that way. A little bit pricier, but if you are desperate for chocolate chips, you can use this kind, the Enjoy Life brand. We like it. So you can find that at most grocery stores and health food stores if you want to try that. So you guys going to try the monster muffins, the Grinch monster muffins?
Yes.
Okay, so we're rushing to hockey right now, so they need a quick snack. So go ahead, you could try them, show people that you like them. Although we did forget the chocolate chips, but
They're good. They're good.
and they're healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So say thanks. Thanks for joining us this week. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. You can also follow me on Facebook at Sarah DeCiccio, Finding Your Well Spot. And don't forget to be signing up for my emails as well, where you're going to receive free
You should try
recipes.
these muffins.
Should they try them? That's why we're sharing them with everyone, right? Yes. Okay, say toodaloo.